I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make it. I don't feel very well.
I wasn't unwell. I was petrified. I pretended to be ill to avoid giving a presentation at uni. The anxiety reduced when I made the call, but it was replaced with vulnerability and shame. I'm not sure which was worse. What happened to the strong, confident man I thought I was? Was that all in my head? Was this the real me? My coping strategy was simple. If something made me feel anxious, I'd avoid it. That way, no one could see me being weak, but running away didn't help. It only made it worse. Public speaking would continue to pop up in my life, and the dread just compounded. The grip it had over me tightened. Would I ever be able to stand up and give a speech? And I can honestly say, at one point in my life, it felt impossible. I'm gonna share what I've learned about overcoming fear and becoming more courageous. And at the end of the video, I plan on putting this theory to the test as I take on one of the biggest challenges of my life. We've all felt fear at some stage in our life. That moment that you leap back into safety, consumed by dread, self-doubt, and how others perceive us.
Not me.
Oh, is that right, He-Man?
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power! There's a f***ing pussies.
Oh, new catchphrase? Okay, everyone apart from He-Man experiences fear. I used to think there was something wrong with me. I get anxious about a lot of things, and I still do. But what fundamentally changed for me was understanding that courage wasn't living without fear. Courage is doing what needs to be done in the face of fear. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Thankfully, courage can be taught and improved. What we dread differs from person to person, but it's something that we can all relate to. Well, most of us anyway. The great philosopher Aristotle believed that courage was the #1 virtue for living a life of fulfillment. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you had He-Man courage, you'd do whatever you want. You'd feel more at ease with yourself, less self-conscious, and you'd stop holding yourself back in life. Doesn't the thought of that sound so appealing? So, how do we get there? Robert Biswas-Diener is a positive psychologist and wrote the book The Courage Quotient. Robert believes that being able to take courageous action is one of the most important, useful, and exciting aspects of being human. He breaks courage down into 2 primary elements. Number 1, the ability to control fear. And number 2, the willingness to act. Are you willing to act to hit that like button? I believe in you. You've got this. Robert simplifies complicated neurological functioning with 2 motivational systems, the behavioral inhibition system and the behavioral activation system. This system helps us stay wary of situations that could cause risk or harm. It encourages you to tread carefully when you're climbing a tree, walking home late at night, or opening up about how you feel emotionally.
I'm not crying. It's raining.
It's okay to be scared or anxious. Part of our brain's function is to worry. It's there to protect us. By contrast, the behavioral activation system is rooted in our brain's pleasure centers and is triggered by progressing towards a goal. This system encourages you to be bold and to take action towards a desired outcome, like achieving a goal, asking someone out on a date, or backing yourself on an investment. So our brains are motivated by both fear and happiness. So, to become braver, we must learn to reduce the inhibition system and increase the activation system. The good news is we have twice as many approaches to become braver. Becoming braver, control fear. When you're walking along the ground, you're not thinking about getting hurt or experiencing fear. You're just walking. If you repeat that same action along a mountain ridge, you'll probably experience a different feeling. Your brain isn't communicating what's objectively happening, like,
I'm walking on a stable surface and I know how to walk.
it's communicating how to feel about what's happening, like,
Holy shit, that's high. Please don't fall. Beware. Danger.
the rational part of the brain, prefrontal cortex, gets hijacked by the emotional part of the brain, the amygdala, which puts you into the fight or flight response.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait.
The fight or flight response was crucial for the survival of our ancestors. It got us physically prepared to fight or run when faced with danger. God, why am I out of breath? Fucking hell. But in today's society, we're more likely to have those same responses to psychological threats, like pressures at work, relationships, or the news. The good news is that our rational brain can override the amygdala and take back control. Here's how. Number 1, controlled breathing. This has been the easiest and most effective strategy that I've learned to reduce fear. Take deep, controlled breaths through the nose, into your belly for a count of 4. Hold for a split second, and slowly breathe out through your nose for a count of 6. Repeat this at least 3 times and multiple times if necessary. Breathing this way triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which returns your body to a state of calm. If you want to be more proactive, research suggests that a daily 30-minute meditation practice can actually reduce the size of your amygdala, which will help you respond less emotionally and think more rationally.
Hey Lou, what are you doing tonight? Are you free for 30 minutes?
I'm going to pay for that. Number 2, reasoning. Most people struggle with this part. Take responsibility for how you feel and then make the decision to change your response. A lot of us like to pass the buck and claim that this thing like public speaking makes us scared, unhappy, or angry, when in fact it's the other way round. The truth is we make ourselves feel scared, unhappy, or angry by the thing. Just let that sink in. So we've created that belief through experience and repetition, and we have the ability to change that if we wish. Talk yourself into bravery, like a crazy person. This stuff works. Once you replace negative thoughts with more helpful ones, you initiate a chemical change in the brain. Through repetition, the change gets stronger, and eventually, over time, you rewire the brain and think differently. When I'm feeling anxious about public speaking, I know that I'll get into my groove in a few minutes and I'll be fine. I just need to ride the initial storm, and I take comfort in that. I take a few deep breaths to compose myself, and then I tell myself,
I've got this. Bring it on.
These words help me, and use whatever words work for you. So in summary on controlling fear, number 1, focus on controlled breathing to calm yourself down. Number 2, remember, your thoughts don't represent reality. You do. Number 3, if you don't like how you feel about something, change your narrative and choose a more helpful response. And number 4, you can rewire the brain through thought and repetition. Bold action. You might have heard the phrase, defense wins championships, or when it's said correctly, defense. Once you stop conceding goals, you can start scoring them. Once you've learned how to reduce fear, even marginally, you'll likely find more success taking bold action. Here are 3 tips to help you become more courageous. Be willing to fail. Thomas Edison famously said, "I failed my way to success." Winston Churchill once said, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." The battle against failure is a lost cause. Failure is inevitable. Rather than trying to avoid it, accept that it's part of the process. Failure isn't fun, but it offers a great learning opportunity. It builds character, and you learn what not to do next time. Number 2, 20 seconds of courage. Matt Damon played Benjamin Mee in the terribly named but surprisingly good film We Bought a Zoo. In one scene, he's explaining to his son that our lives are defined by the moments we step outside our comfort zone. I'll put a link to the clip in the description. He says, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it. So if you're delaying reaching out to a loved one, committing to that challenge, or procrastinating over that one big decision, be outrageously courageous for just 20 seconds and something great will come of it. Matt Damon promises. Number 3, face your fear. So if you want to become more courageous, repeatedly do the things that scare you as frequently as possible, and you'll no longer fear it. Gradually expose yourself to that thing and make it more challenging each time. There's no escaping it. We know this is true. We just wish there was an easier way. Be willing to fail. Failure is part of the process. It's not fun, but it builds character and is a wonderful teacher. Be outrageously courageous for just 20 seconds. Face your fear. This leads me nicely onto my fear and the biggest challenge of my life. Overcoming my fear. I've hopefully proven to you that courage can be taught and improved. I've experienced firsthand that you can stand up to your fears, take back control, and be the person you want to be. But I still get anxious about public speaking. I put this down to exposure. I can easily avoid public speaking for months at a time. You'll never become world-class at anything with that level of frequency. And you probably know where I'm going with this. I'm committing to you that I will overcome my fear of public speaking by becoming a professional public speaker. I'll know that I've succeeded when I'm finally offered a paid speaking gig. Courage is often about others. I may feel scared, but if I can focus on how my actions can help people like you, it can be just the nudge I need. And I've admitted it to the world now anyway. I want to prove to myself, and now you, that anything is possible. You can go from paralysis and panic attacks to courage and execution. When you see me on stage at some point in the future, you'll know where I came from, and now you know the steps that I took to make it so. And now over to you. Join me as I channel my inner hero, move forward with courage, and become a step closer to living a happier, more filled life on my terms. Let me know in the comment section how you're going to stand up to fear and be embarrassingly brave for 20 seconds. What are you waiting for? If you enjoyed this video, then check out this video here, where I share where I finally got clarity on what I want to do in my life and how you can too. I'll see you over there.